Let's take this out. February 28th, 2020. By the time you see this, it's March 2026. Because I got to get to a Tim Hortons to upload because I don't have internet in my house. I just use data on my cell phone. Why am I in the bathroom? You may ask. Because it's the best light that I have in my place. Okay? So that's part of the reason. Hi, I'm Melanie. That's the intro. IDAF. Know that. So, IDGAF. That's the new thing. I caught up finally. LOL. IDGAF. All right. So I'm in the bathroom. Yeah, I'm in the bathroom. I got my crochet hat on, right? So we look here. Here go the thing. If you look in here in this channel for some professional cinematography, big deal, wah 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 kind of stuff, that's not gonna happen with me. All right. We only got a cell phone. We is I, we, me, my brain, and I. Okay. So I only have a cell phone, and this is it, right? So this is it. Real life, real folks, real people. What do you do when you get up in the days? You live on disability income. What do you do when you get up in the daytime? Well, I'm a maker. I make things. That's what it is. But I live on a budget that's like, minuscule when it comes to where you gonna get extra money to craft, where you gonna get extra money to get some things, how this gonna work out. But I'm making it happen regardless. Okay? So we're gonna talk about this hat because this hat's absolutely gorgeous, but that's for another day. Why you got a hat on in the house? I live in Toronto. I live in Canada. It's cold. I'm also what's known as a TI or an empowered individual. Praise God. So I'm in my bathroom because that's the best light. And you can see the shower curtain getting ready to go. And if you can keep up, I'm all over the place when it comes to conversation. Okay? That's the other thing. So, and my glasses are dirty. And trying to make a video with the glasses off is just ridiculous. But I think I'm gonna clean the glasses. You up for that? Is you up for that? So the glasses is dirty, but I did clean the thing, right? Oops. Oh, horrid. How could I? Oh my God. Girl, that's the brassiere. Then the underwire on the brassiere done came out. So I'm like, am I going to keep this? Or what am I going to do? I'm not sure. So it's up there, hand washed, sort of. We up here in a place called the Hood because that's how they treat this building that I live in. Like we in the hood. So, and believe you me, that's how they treat this place. Like we in the hood. But we not in the hood. Toronto, man. Toronto, Canada. These people don't know a hood if you showed them one. I used to live in the United States for years. So what they call the hood, I'm like, are you kidding me? So what this is going to be about today, needlepoint. All right. So I got my hat on because I need to protect myself from their technology because they look at you through the camera. In case you don't know, and there's such a thing called psychomancy. So you need to protect what's known as your third eye when you get on the camera, depending on who you are, obviously. So today is going to be about needlepoint. Let's get to the subject. Let's get to the topic. I might switch to another location besides my bathroom. Oh, wait. I need my coffee. Hold up. Hold on, okay? Pour coffee here. Okay? This was an expensive cup I bought. I used to post on Facebook, so I took a lot of pictures of this. I treated myself to this cup of coffee. This artist, I can't remember her name. It was on the box. I don't remember anything else, about this plastic thing. There goes some Italian grinds. Okay, come back to you. Oh yeah, I don't edit, but I do pause. Okay? All right. Let me get the coffee. So I don't have a coffee pot. I live by myself. I don't need the coffee pot. But sometimes I think I might, but I live in a tiny space, and I don't really need a coffee pot to take up any of my uh, space, on a counter or anything like that. But that's another story, and it's a long one. So, and I love tiny space living. Okay, so here go the coffee. Here go the deal that I do, and I need some coffee. I just do. All right, and that's how I do it. They got these in ceramic, or is it ceramic? But I'm scared. I love how those look too. I love these little things, but I'm scared I'm gonna break it. So I don't. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, milk. I don't take sugar in my coffee. It's just milk. But sometimes I do like that French vanilla as coffee sweeteners thing. Let me go get the milk. Hold on. In Canada, Toronto, you can buy 1%, 3%. I think the other one is 10% and 2%. And I was like, geez. I'm like, what the hell is this? It's actually 3.25%. They got a variety on the milk. I'm like, so why they got so much variety on the milk? I don't understand it. I don't know if the states done caught up to all that yet. And they got milk in a bag. One day I'm gonna buy some milk in a bag so you can see what that is. So, and they the king and queens here of electric coffee pots. Okay, and I see why. It's so much more convenient to have electric kettle, not coffee pot, electric kettle, right? It actually is quite nice. So yeah, there go the milk. Let me put the milk in the fridge. All right. This is my foray into needlepoint. Okay. Experimental, the big foray, have always loved needlepoint and embroidery from young. Okay. But we're not young like that no more. But it's all relative. 85-year-old would call me young. I'd be like, oh, you're a baby. Oh, yeah, 59, huh? So, this is plastic canvas. I did these for my Christmas presents. Well, my little Christmas stuff, okay? These are posters. And so, I got this out of a cross-stitch book. No, it's a Treasures of Crafting. It's an old vintage book. So the chart's in there, and the treasure needlepoint or something like that, and the little houses. And this is actually classic wool patterns, this brown, but I had found these little minis that were acrylics on the side of the street. Okay, I picked them up. I said, the universe blessed me with this. And I mixed in the classic 100% wool. Okay, let's see, can you see it? This is the wool right here. I bought that. I don't know, I think it was at Michael's, but it might have been at the fabric place. There's a lady up on St. Clair. She's got a beautiful shop, but she carries some yarn and some embroidery stuff too, but she's mainly fabric. The and they had the little hearts. So this was a plastic canvas. I can't remember what the count is. I think it's 10 count, maybe. And I haven't covered the back at all. And I bought some felt at the Dollarama. It's the Dollarama here, okay? I bought some felt at the Dollarama, and I went to go put it in. And it's like, oh, for the back. I'm like, it's not working. I'm just gonna leave it until I figure out what I'm doing. But this is plastic canvas, and I am super happy with this. This, I think, is the acrylic. This is the wool. So this is mixed with 100% wool, 100% acrylic, and they're so cute, absolutely adorable. And they had another picture in there. This is the tree. right? I made these for Christmas coasters. And here is this blue is 100%, this dark blue is 100% wool. And then these other colors are 100% acrylic, okay? And then this was the other one I made. That was the back. Oh, this says Peace on Earth. I put the letters in, but the chart I got from her, I haven't finished it either. She's supposed to have like an eye right there and, a couple of other things. But this is Peace on Earth. It looks like it's going the different direction on there. And I just added in the hearts, but I got the chart from there. Let's see, that's Peace on Earth. And this is how the back looks, okay? So I'm like, well, nobody gonna see it. I live by myself, and I'm not turning around the back, but I would like to figure out how I'm going to back this one day. And I think I need a nicer piece of felt than the stuff from Dollarama because it pokes in. I was like, I don't think I like this. So these are the backs, and this was what I made for Christmas. This is uh, what they call continental stitch, tent stitch for some, I think. Okay. And it's basic needlepoint, nothing fancy, nothing, anything to it at all. Quick, cute projects and fun, fun, fun to make. A little bag of minis I found on the street, right? So I'm like, well, I hope it don't got bugs. I hope it doesn't have this. I hope it doesn't have brand new into plastic. I looked over the yarn, the little minis, perfectly fine. Somebody left them out there. It was absolutely wonderful. And so these are the coasters, okay? And I just cut the plastic canvas right on the edge and then, do this little edging thing there. So this is like the beginning, one of my forays into needlepoint. I have some other needlepoint also, but it's packed away in a bag. I'm not looking for it. What I have right now is two projects besides that I'm working on. This is in what's called needlepoint canvas, mono needlepoint canvas, 12 count. Ooh, so let me get that. Okay, yay! This project we got started on. All right, so when you see my apartment now, all right, no judging. When you see my apartment, it's always a work in progress for me. So I got a lot of projects I'm always doing, okay? It's never ending story. I knit, I crochet, I seed bead weave, I embroider, I needlepoint. What else? Oh, polymer clay, which I haven't done in about 15 years or so, but polymer clay too. And whatever else I may try, I might do some sewing too. Okay. So here is my next. Now this I was working on an old project and then decided the wool not working, right? So here was the issue here. This is from a William Morris chart. I have a book that I bought at Value Village. Oh, beautiful. This I was trying to mix the 100% wool with wool ease, which is an acrylic wool blend. But it's too thick, too bulky, too much problems. I don't have a stretcher where this is stretched onto anything like some wooden stuff or whatever. If I can get an embroidery hoop around, I get an embroidery hoop around to help stabilize my stitching and keep the canvas a little bit more stretched out, right? But this will hopefully, there's a blocking method to all of this when you finish. So hopefully I'll get it figured out. But this all experimental at this point. So I'm taking out this old project because it's like a rug plus plus plus. And I'm taking out, I tried some stitches on there with some different yarns. So that's all coming out, okay? And in order, hopefully, this will stop the fraying on the side. This is the needlepoint stitch going across. And here is the needlepoint, basic continental stitch, or what I think is known, if I have it right, as tent stitch. So these are some pillows that I'm wanting to do. So I took this chart out of a knit Afghan book. This is a classic chart. It's in many, many iterations. This flower has been for decades. Okay? So who knows where she got her deal from. So here is the beginning of this project. Maybe a pillow. I want it to be a pillow. It's probably going to be a pillow. But I don't know. I'll see. I'm looking at the project now. I'm like, it's probably going to be a purse. Okay. So let's talk about tapestry. So if I have my information right, this is the first form of some type of tapestry. Okay? If I have it right, I think I do, that it was actually some type of needlepoint worked on some type of square canvas thing of some sort, whether it was for rugs. I think it was really for rugs, actually, and then wall hangings, pillows, chair coverings, etc. But I think it was for rugs, all right? And this was the basic, something like the gist of it. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is if I remember correctly. Where's the coffee? So this is right here, this green part, and my stitches, well, I'm getting there, okay? Practice. This is the 100% new wool DK weight patent is the brand. This too. This is this is some tapestry 100% wool I got out of a already used kit that I bought at the Value Village, but I just don't want to totally throw away all the yarn. And you can see where I'm struggling a bit with the stitches, but that's okay. I'm experimental, fun, just enjoying myself. Absolutely love needlepointing. And this is going to be a boat. Here's going to be another flower. I'm thinking about some beads or some French knots in the flower, another color. So that's the beginning of that project. This is 12 count. Michael's, known as the Arts and Crafts Big Box Store. This is the only needlepoint I've been able to find here in Toronto, Canada, 12-point mono canvas, but I intend to research that and see if I can find some other stores that might have needlepoint, small shops, right? That might have canvas. And this blue here is 100% acrylic. And then this purplish color is 100% new wool. Classic, I think it is. DK weight patents. So I'm trying to find out what's going to be the most financially reasonable for me, and also what is actually going to work with the the stitches. I can get the canvas can get covered without showing these little white pieces, but also something affordable, like reasonable, like, yeah, I love this work. But needlepoint can be very expensive because typically it's done in back when maybe there was some embroidery floss, but I think it was wool, 100% wool, which is kind of pricey. It can add up. Small pieces, no, right? You can probably get tons of these. If you bought all of this in wool, you could probably get tons of coasters, like 100, okay? But in the bigger projects now, it can really add up. And trying to find tapestry wool can be a bit daunting. And also the cost, right? Problem with buying a full skein of wool is limitation on colors. So if I wanted 5 shades of green, like some tapestry work is, I'm probably not going to find that. If I want, 10 shades of pink, if I go a lot of colors on a tapestry work, for 100% wool, I'm probably not going to find that. In the weight I need to get the right coverage on the needlepoint for the canvas to be properly covered, but not too bulky, not too lots of things, okay? So you see I've had some beginning and start, some practices, but this is the beginning of this project, so I'll keep you posted on that one if you want to. this is the part of this. So when I go to looking, so now I'm in the experimental stage of this. Like, what wool is going to work? If I want a lot more detail and shading in the work with the chart, some of these needle points have all 20 something colors, okay? And it's just a variation on the one shade to get that shading, to get that effect, to get that look to be like more realistic and dimensional. But if I wanted to stay within the budget, my price range, I'm probably going to do, things like this. And there's a word for things like this kind of flower. I think, an art word, or geometrics. That's primarily, I would probably stay with this for a while till I do more research, get around some yarn shops in Canada. And meanwhile, I'm sticking to, um, you know, simpler patterns and great practice for me to get my stitch work going until I can buy all of the things I want to buy for this, like a thicker embroidery hoop, something I can attach to a desk and on my table actually, and that way it stays stable while I'm embroidering. Okay, so this part is where that is. What I like about the acrylic is it brightens up this graying effect that wool has. Okay, because wool has that effect. Unless it's brightly colored, really brightly colored, wool has that hair gray effect. All right, let me show you. And some acrylics can also, pretty much. All right, but you see this green, and this is when, once you see this kind of thing, you can never unsee it. And that's what's happened with me. Okay, this is the green 100% wool. This is the purple. This is pretty accurate to light, 100% wool. This is the acrylic. And granted, this is a brighter blue, but this is what happens with yarn. The 100% with wool yarn has this kind of graying effect that comes, probably the animal hair or whatever it is, right? So, and that's okay, depending on how you work it and how you like your thing. But I was like, and you see how the green dulls down all together. And I have the pink in my on the couch somewhere, I think. But you see, with this blue, it just doesn't dull down like that. And there's that purple, because that's what happens when you put all the animal hair together, whether it's knit, crochet, uh, needlepoint. So, and hey, it all depends on what you like. What's your thing? You with the sheep clan, you with the sheep clan. I don't really care. I'll work in any yarn there is to work in, as long as it's in my budget and something I like and love and want to do. So you'll see that the acrylic kind of picks up this wool, 100% wool that's in this brown, and the acrylic kind of brightens it up. First, I was like, am I going to work with acrylic and wool? I don't know. I'm still experimenting. Let me grab my other needlepoint, show you what time it is. Oh, long form, eh? So here's the other needlepoint that I'm working on. This is a William Morris chart. Don't look nothing like the chart. I'm like, okay, this is embroidery floss. All right, this embroidery floss. And this is interesting about William Morris's work so far, what I've worked on. It's all practice. All right, this is the same 12 count mono needlepoint canvas. And the embroidery floss I got at a smaller shop here, EWE Knit Yarn Shop. They're amazing. Love that. And Michael's. And this is the embroidery floss. The thing about this embroidery floss is it added up really quickly, because in order for me to get the coverage, for it to cover this, if I had 14 count, I probably wouldn't have this problem, but I'm using a strand and like 9 threads to get the coverage. And, or is it 6? No, I'm using, I think it's close to 9 threads to get the coverage. So it's adding up pretty quickly the cost. Okay, it's adding up really, really quickly. I'm like, oh man. So it's like, okay, I gotta slow down on this, and maybe I'm gonna finish it, maybe not, but I gotta figure out what's going on here. And William Morris is really, so it's like 5 colors, maybe 6, and this is almost totally outlined, and that's the difference. And here go the back, okay? This is the back. So, it's all practice, but I really was like, I don't know if I want to work an embroidery floss. I really want a wool. I really want a wool needlepoint. But I'm like, now that I have, and every time I pick up the embroidery floss, I'm like, oh, it's gorgeous. some of the some way more complicated, and I'm learning how to get used to reading the chart and trying to understand the rhythm of the person who interpreted his work, which I can't remember her name right now, and what she got from that chart, uh, I, and so this work is way more involved than this. Okay, this one's got a lot more going on, and I'd love to try this in a few different colors, but it's only 5, but I think I've added 6, and this is the beginning of the pillow. So these are going to be 2 totally different vibes of pillows that are going on my couch. Okay, so this is also another needlepoint, and I'm going to get more into this down the road. This is just as I go. I'm looking at different charts and going, well, I think I'm in her book, the Afghan knit book. I think I'll use the boat. I think I'll use the flower. There's an ice cream cone, so cute. And there's a house. So there's a lot less, you know, I guess, involved. Okay. Whereas this is way more involved. So one of my objectives is I want about 3 or 4 pillows, and I want them all to be different. But maybe in the color ranges of some sort of each other. Okay. But I want them to be different. I don't want my couch having a bunch of the same pillows. I want my couch where I sit. It's not like a big couch. It's like one of those old IKEA things that the thing comes up, and I got things in there. So, yeah, that's kind of what's happening with that. And you see this? So, when I get further ahead on this project, well, I'll get into it, right? Because right now, it's easily $35. Okay, right here. This project, I think she charged me $8 a skein. So I bought the pink, the green, purple. All right, the pink, the green, the purple. It's $24. All right, this is $4.99 at the Michaels. That's like, okay, call it 30. And then the canvas is like $15. Okay. But the nice part about this kind of project is I could easily go, well, I'll go buy another ball of yarn next month. And I'll go buy another ball of yarn the month afterwards. And this is the part of the innovative, creative budgeter and the craft maker. Like, you don't have to get, if you're innovative about what you want to make, you don't have to get all the stuff at the same time. This matters when you still want to go out and get you a McDonald's hamburger. So, and depending on how big I make this and what I do with it, I could probably get another project out of these yarns. Depends. I'll see. I'm thinking that. Okay. We'll say. We'll say. Royal we. So that's kind of a little bit of needlepoint. I have a couple other needlepoint projects, but they packed. One's unfinished. Two are unfinished, and one's finished. But it needs to get in. I bought a kit from Michael's, the three mushrooms, and I got that one done. But it needs to get framed or whatever I'm gonna do with it. That might be a purse too. I like some wild purses, so that might have to be one of those.